Now, let's move on to a different story. It's a fascinating one. It's about the new artificial intelligence phenomenon, ChatGPT, which has been praised worldwide for its human-like quality. Its conversational style makes it engaging and dynamic. It's able to answer follow-up questions, challenge incorrect and inappropriate queries, and even admitting when it is wrong. But other people feel that technology like that used by ChatGPT is a double-edged sword and can be used for good or bad. Let's discuss this further now with Paul Morgan, Business Unit Lead at Altron Karabina. Paul, good afternoon. Welcome to today. Thank you very much for coming through to our studios on the eNCA this afternoon.
Thanks, Dan. Great to be here.
I registered on this ChatGPT thing, and I typed my name on there just to see, and I put eNCA, and I put news, and I put eNCA. Within a split of a second, this thing is beginning to type everything about me, even my hidden secrets.
No, that's right, and it's very good. If I haven't read your book, apologies, and I looked up last night, and it gave me a summary of your book as well, so it was very helpful.
It's got this good side because now we're laughing, we're smiling that you can find out things about it. But I know that in some parts of the world, some universities have banned it because it enables students literally to cheat.
Yes, that's right. And in New York, all the schools are not allowed to use ChatGPT for kids writing essays and so on. But you're right about the double-edged sword. I think it's like any other tool. And technology. If you use it wisely, it can help you. So there's nothing wrong with using it to get an understanding of the subject and maybe to start putting a summary of that subject. But if you're only relying on that tool, imagine as a journalist you only rely on ChatGPT, you're going to be found out, like the story of Swami.
Yeah, you might end up being accused of producing something fake, as we've just seen this allegation of fake documentation in Tswane, so to speak. But on this one, we should welcome the benefits of AI, artificial intelligence.
There's some fantastic things that are a result just using tools like ChatGPT itself. So ChatGPT is based on a large language model called GPT-3. And you think it's all about entertainment and searching and making up songs and poems and that type of thing, which it does. But there's some really serious cases. I read a white paper yesterday about detecting early onset of dementia, so Alzheimer's, and you can feed into the GPT language model different samples of people, and because there's some language aberrations that happen when you've got these early days of Alzheimer's, it can detect that kind of thing very, very early on, and then maybe you can start using treatment to check its progress.
We're focusing on ChatGPT because it's everyone's talking about it. It's a global phenomenon. I saw a report the other day from The Economist. I think they are facing some legal challenges as well in terms of the program or code, whatever the technological term is that they've been using. There's a skirmish happening there globally. But for now, ChatGPT can be used for good stuff, and artificial intelligence, it can also help us as a human race to create new opportunities, including new jobs.
Yes, that's right. I think a lot of people have been worried about AI taking jobs away. And people have been worried about technology doing that for decades. And I've been in the IT industry for 30 years, and you don't actually see it happening that often. So the creation of new jobs, as an example, all these models that get trained, there's humans involved as well behind the scenes helping direct it. So as they go through these kind of training processes, you reward the software for providing a better answer. So that's what the humans do. It's a job that never even existed beforehand. Yeah. And there's lots of examples of that.
Now the impact of AI, you argue, is far-reaching. For a country like South Africa, we're just battling with load shedding, and therefore connectivity is a problem. Your Wi-Fi is down, you can't talk to anybody. But let's just put that aside. If things were better off, for a country like South Africa, from an AI perspective, what are you seeing? Where are the benefits?
So I don't know whether it's limited to South Africa, but I've always been a strong believer that it's the combination of humans plus AI that make a difference. It's like a superpower that we can use to make ourselves better. So there's examples of what we're doing at the company that I work for. We've got a number of software engineers and data engineers, and we're able to check the code, the scripts that they build by feeding it into ChatGPT, and it checks for best practice coding and errors in their code and so on. So I think it can make more productive, maybe not just employees, but in that area. There's lots of opportunities for using it to superpower our efforts.
Yeah, I mean, would you have a verdict about, I saw your comment about the good, the bad, and the ugly of artificial intelligence, and then we talk about ChatGPT as an example. I mean, the overall verdict is that we need to embrace AI, but we need to be very careful.
Yeah, for sure. There's a quote from Sam Altman, who is the co-founder of OpenAI, which is the organization behind GPT and ChatGPT. And he says, it's a glimpse of greatness into the future, but don't use it for anything important yet. Because you can get problems with the results that you get out of it. Sometimes it makes stuff up. Because it's got this capability of being able to create stories and poems and all that. And it also reports on facts. So you've got that combination. Like humans, it can maybe get a little bit confusing sometimes. It reports something, and if you take that without a pinch of salt, and you believe everything it says is true, there could be some issues.
Yeah, so if you had to answer this in a very short way as we conclude, Paul, is this technology, AI, and any other technology, good or bad? I mean, for us, what would you say?
It's like the motor car. I mean, it's changed our lives, but it kills 1.5 million people every year. Okay, so it's a double-edged sword. We've got to be able to control it, and I think people just need to think about the implications of when they're using AI, whether they're a user or whether they're a developer. And what are the impact of those tools.
Okay, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Paul Morgan, Business Unit Lead at Altron Karabina, just talking about the benefits and the dangers, so to